So we'll begin with the Emerging Professional Award. This is presented to a member of the Penn State alumni family who graduated in the past decade for their professional achievements and distinguished community service. And this year's winner is Andrew McGill. He was a Schreier Scholar and graduated in 2010 with a journalism degree. While at Penn State, Andrew was the managing editor of the Daily Collegian, and in 2010 finished first in the news writing category in the National First Collegiate Competition. These days, he's in Washington at the Atlantic doing fascinating work as a senior product manager, and he spent some time at the Morning Call in Allentown, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and the National Journal since graduation. We'd like to congratulate Andrew, our 2019 Emerging Professional.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm humbled to accept this because there are a lot of other people out there that are doing amazing work that deserve it as much or more than me. So it's an honor to be recognized, and I'll admit I was surprised when I learned, also because when Ron Wagner was trying to get in touch with me, I was positive it was the most persistent fundraising push ever. But he finally broke through, and I apologize for being slow to answer. I was also on vacation, so I'll do that. But I will note that there's a lot of folks, again, that in my class cohort that deserve this as well. And one of the things that I've enjoyed doing and staying close to Penn State is teaching a class here remotely at the World Campus called Data Visualization for Journalists. And I do it from DC, and I Skype in with my students, and I talk to them and give them exercises and teach them basically how to start with an idea, find data to support it, build out a way to show it, and then publish a story. It's been really rewarding, but it's funny because I've always been surprised by how diverse their career paths are after they graduate. So I've had, for every student that goes into a newsroom, I've had folks go into communications, I've had folks that go into the NFL, which was cool. Every kind of career path you can imagine, get their MBA, to go to law school. And these are folks that have journalism degrees. So one of the nice things about teaching a journalism class about data reporting and visualization is that you actually can look up the data yourself. So I have some experience with that. And I, on a lark, actually looked up from the census how many folks with journalism degrees actually work in the field of media. And I'm kind of being very specific on media, not necessarily communications, which is a broader thing, but let's say journalism and newspapers and publishing and broadcast. And the figure is for folks of only a few years out of college is about 20%. So 20% of journalism graduates work in media, 80% do something else. And when I first saw that, I was really kind of surprised and maybe a little depressed because I'm like, wow, I'm teaching data visualization for journalism. What exactly is the point of me if folks aren't using their skills? And I think the thing that I realized very quickly is that when I was at Penn State, I had a very kind of blinded look at what I was supposed to be doing. I was doing my journalism classes with Russ. I was doing the Collegian. I had a very clear internship goal. I wanted to work at the Inquirer. I wanted to work at the Morning Call. I wanted to then go work for newspapers and then eventually die working at the Inquirer. And I didn't think of all the other things that I was learning while I was kind of on this very business-driven track, which was critical thinking, making power tell truth, telling truth to power, and keep looking out for the little guy, and trying to find the true answers to kind of complicated questions. These were just kind of like thoughts that bubbled underneath my brain, but I was all focused on my career. So when I looked back and I saw that 20% figure, I said, well, this actually doesn't mean that much, because look at me now. I work at the Atlantic. I used to be in the newsroom, but now I am something called a senior product manager, which is always hard to explain, but essentially is working on our digital side and building out our digital presence so our journalists have the right tools and the right platforms to tell good stories. So we are building out our website and our Alexa app and our iOS app, and it's a job that I never would have thought I would do when I graduated from Penn State because I was stuck on my newspaper track. So when I look at that 20% figure and now count myself to some extent among the 80%, even though I'm still in media, I see something else that we're doing when we teach people journalism at Penn State. I see us, again, teaching people to think critically, to ask questions, to not accept BS, and really to be involved in the society that we're creating. It's honestly kind of what we need to save democracy in a box. So I'm proud to be a journalism major, I'm proud to be a Penn Stater, and I'm proud to accept this award. Thank you.